Ben Holladay is known for the quality products, so much so, in fact, that many a podcaster, liquor store, and grocery store, liquor department in the grocery store, are willing to reach out and be a part of their barrel pick program.
Yep.
This one here is one of those examples from the Lee Summit Hy-Vee. They reached out and they got themselves a barrel pick, and it's called, what do we call it?
The Holladay One Barrel Bourbon.
One barrel. What does that mean? I think it's pretty self-explanatory, but we are going to talk about it on this episode of Savor the Burn.
Part of the Survivor Series.
Series.
This Ben Holladay One Barrel Bourbon.
Yep. And,
is a Survivor.
Survivor Series.
I will survive.
Well, in case you don't know, this is Mr. W2 over here to my, to your right, and my name is Jonathan. How do you do, W2?
I'm doing fine.
Yeah, no. He's doing all right. I'm doing all right. And sorry, the coagulated nasty here in my throat. Still trying to get over the crud. But today we've got a lovely tasting. We hope it's a lovely.
It's a store
tasting.
pick.
Yeah, a store pick from Hy-Vee Liquor Department out there in
Lee Summit,
right there off of Ward.
Yes, sir.
Well, 3rd Street exit Ward, whatever. You'll see it.
Yeah.
Anyway, so it's a 122.6 proof.
Yes, sir.
So we went up in proof from the Rickhouse Red. And
well, this bottle has a special story too.
It does. So we talked about it's part of the Survivor Series.
If you on the other side of this camera notice that the labeling looks a little tattered and worn, and that if those that have been with us for a while, you may recall a story this last winter, right after Thanksgiving, around the holidays. We came home to a shelf that decided to go.
Yep, just quit.
And this bottle was sitting on that shelf, and it magically, miraculously survived. Mm-hmm. The labels look a little worn, but what ended up happening and why the top label looks the way it does is just like with this one, it had the screw-on plastic cap.
Yep.
And that cap was, and I didn't realize it survived. It is still full. Mm-hmm. But I hadn't realized it until I was moving things around, cleaning them up, and then I realized the cap was actually cracked all the way around the outside of it and all that. This neck tape held it in place and kept it sealed so that nothing would spill out, nothing would get in.
Yep. It's not just for looks, ladies and gentlemen.
So the neck tape looks like that because I went ahead and
carefully
popped
peeled
it. Yep. And it was quite tattered from the trauma that it experienced in its journey. But I went ahead and finished it off to pop it off. The cap came off.
Oh, you still have it?
I do still have it.
There you go.
In 2 pieces.
Wow.
And actually, you know what? I'm going to take back what I said. You are 100% correct. It is
metal, isn't it?
It is a metal cap with a plastic insert
like tin
in there.
Or aluminum,
yeah,
something really lightweight.
So anyway, I went ahead and I found a cork that I had laying around that fit the neck size on there, and I went ahead and popped it in there, and then retaped it.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think
with the existing tape, so
it worked out just fine. No juice was lost, and
we're good.
And now we get to do a little bit of a bottle pop. We might be able to hear it.
Oh, so, there you go. I'm excited about that. Let's just jump right on into that because
it won't be true to form, but whatevs. Here we go. Pause for bottle pop. Here we go. That's not bad at all.
I mean,
that's not bad at all.
What other Ben Holladay has that kind of a pop?
Oh man, smell that cork. Oh goodness.
You pour. I'm gonna talk.
Yes. Yes.
So this is the Holladay One Barrel Bourbon. It is a store pick, which means it's a single barrel picked by the Lee Summit Hy-Vee. This is a bourbon. Specifically, this is a real Missouri bourbon. This is 7 years, 8 months. It comes in at 122.6 proof from the Distiller's Journal off of their own website. While there were a limited number of barrels to choose from with this batch, I played around with potential blends for the last 6 months, obsessing about every possible combination. Can you imagine being able to play around with every possible combination of blends?
I wouldn't last
Anyway.
long. I would not last long, W2.
Playing around with blends.
No.
This batch was aged in Rickhouse C, the largest rickhouse on site. I decided to focus this batch heavily on the 5th floor. If you remember, the soft red that we had was 3rd and 4th.
3rd and 4th.
5th house floor to provide a strong backbone of barrel-derived flavor. To round out the blend, the remaining 21% of the batch used barrels that came from the 1st floor. Those barrels had a subtle sweetness to them, which helped balance the dryness from the barrels aged on that warmer 5th floor. As I was building out and blending this batch, there were a couple barrels from our 5th floor that were destined to be dumped that I just couldn't let go. There was nothing wrong with those barrels. They tasted really good. So good, in fact, that it made us dream of a potential single barrel offering. Only time will tell if that dream becomes reality. But until we know that answer, I plan to keep them sitting tight in our rickhouse. So this little journal entry actually, and I tried my best. They had a lot of journal entries. They did not have one specific for this one barrel pick. This was a journal entry that I feel like was just before this one. And it made me wonder, was this the journal entry that was made before they actually pulled the trigger and done their first one barrel offering?
Maybe.
I'm not entirely sure. So anyway, continuing on. Overall, we had a loss of 32.7%. That seems so high, which was higher than projected. Once the bourbon was dumped, we sent it through some simple filtration to remove all barrel char from the bourbon. Bottled and bond spirits by law have to be bottled at 100 proof because chill flock, I'm not familiar with that term, does not appear in the bottle at that high proof point. We chose not to chill filter our Ben Holladay bourbon. Thank you, Ben Holladay.
Yeah, thank you.
We
Thank
really appreciate that.
Yeah.
I didn't realize this
We love
was
full fat whiskey.
I didn't realize. Well, actually, this one is not a bottled and bond. So okay, so this is talking about the bottle and bond release that would have been part of this batch of barrels around that time. Finally, I'm very pleased with how this batch turned out and very proud of our team for getting to this point. Countless people have put in early mornings or late nights, and I am thankful to everyone who contributed to this project. In order to get to this day, we had to rebuild and relearn our heritage of distilling and aging bourbon at our historic facility. I think I speak on behalf of everyone on our team when I say that it is both exciting and humbling to be writing the next chapter in the legacy of DSP Mo 5.
DSP Mo 5.
So anyway, that was an entry that was not necessarily this particular one barrel pick, but it lined up with the distilling date and the dump date for it. So anyway, and I thought there was some cool stuff in there that they talked about in that, and so it's
Definitely.
And I love finding distilleries that have websites that actually have kind of chronologically put journal entries in to kind of capture maybe not every single batch or every single dump, but just to give you a glimpse into what was going on in the distillery at that time. Excuse me.
Yeah, that's really kind of.
Oh, wow.
Not everybody does that. Like I could probably count on one hand how many distilleries do that. And really, it's probably just kind of cost prohibitive. Like, how much time does that take? You know, and unless you're already the kind of person that fills out a journal or a diary, that kind of thing. I mean, writing the history down, writing the happenings of the day down, will eventually become history, and people like us will be very interested to know what it was that they were doing back then. I mean, Mr. Holladay didn't do that. But I mean,
look there, look at there. Look at that swirl.
You're a master swirler.
Faith, let me know.
Pay attention. Pay attention.
How we doing?
Well, right off the bat,
man.
I got notes of caramel and citrus. Vanilla, it's kind of a vanilla bomb.
So unlike the soft red wheat bourbon, this is not a wheat bourbon. This is it is a Missouri straight bourbon. No wheat in this one.
So
again, I don't have a mash bill, but this is not billed as a wheated bourbon. Therefore, I expect it's 51+% corn, rye, and barley.
That's how you know we're drinking vegetable juice.
I mean, I got my vegetables.
And hopefully one day I will be one. I've got some baking spices on the nose, man. And unlike the soft red wheat, this one actually to me smells like sweet corn or cream corn.
I was getting ready to say cream corn.
Cream corn. Okay,
yep. I grew up on cream corn.
Yeah. Like it's a turnoff for some people if they didn't eat it when they were kids.
I couldn't tell you the last time I had cream corn.
Yeah.
And I really don't think this is the case because as an adult I participate in our grocery shopping and so I know what things cost. Cream corn isn't necessarily cheaper than regular corn, but I feel like cream corn is one of those things where, this poor kid ate a lot of cream corn growing up. And so I don't know if cream corn is a poor kid
maybe
vegetable. I don't know.
If you know, let us know. info@savortheburn.com.
But this kid ate a lot of cream corn growing up.
Yeah. So I don't know. Do you have anything to add on the notes here on the nose? Like I said before, quick recap: caramel and citrus, vanilla bomb.
I'm gonna say toffee.
Spices, toffee. You think toffee?
Yeah, I'm gonna say kind of a burnt toffee.
That's not bad. Let's get it on the palate.
Let's do this. Ben Holladay.
Now, real quick, this is 122.6, so we're expecting it to be a little hot.
It's warm.
I did a mistake.
I don't think it drinks 122.
I did a little bit more of a.
You chugged.
Of a mouth sip than I expected. So it was kind of a hold, half swallow, hold, still trying to breathe while holding.
Your eyes are watering a little.
Yeah, right. It is such an emotional experience for me. It's so good. Okay. Anyway, 7 year, 8 months. It all shows up right here on the palate.
I mean, come on, guys.
Down here on the finish.
7 years, 8 months. That's not a bad. The color speaks for it. Look at the color of that. Both of these are. I mean, all three of these have a great color in there. That has a really, really good dark color to it.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys can see it from that angle, but it's got a great color on that.
I think there's a little bit of sourdough again on the palate.
On the palate, yeah, I got to redo my palate.
I dig that though. This is nice. It's thick.
You think sourdough?
I do. I'm getting a little bit of sourdough.
All right. Nothing like Leopold Brothers.
No.
Sourdough, but yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Okay. You know what? Yeah.
That Leopold Brothers was straight up marbled rye, pastrami, and yeah.
It was like drinking a sandwich. It was so good and thick.
I think the last time I had a pastrami on marbled rye sandwich was probably at O'Malley's down in the bowels of their basement.
Oh, O'Malley's.
O'Malley's.
Up there in Weston.
The Irish pub in Weston, yep. Right down the street.
I went to go there one time, and they had recently had a lot of rain, so O'Malley's was still kind of flooded. So we started to walk down the stairs, and they had all their fans on, but like it was so much mildew in the air, it was making our eyes burn. So we had to hightail it out of there. I was really looking forward to going to check that out, and unfortunately, I haven't been back since. So on the very tail end of this,
we need to do that.
Of this, definitely on the very tail end of this finish, I'm picking up something bitter, kind of like black coffee, kind of espresso kind of bitterness on the tail end. But it's not. It's just that kind of bitter. I'm not saying that it has that taste. So maybe it's like an extra dark chocolate. Maybe I'm not sure. I don't know how to define that bitterness. So I
think there is some like semi-sweet bitter baking chocolate.
You think so?
Yeah. Actually, have you ever taken most kids have, getting into their mom's baking cabinet when no one's looking, and you find that big block of bitter chocolate. Baking
the
chocolate.
Bag. I found like the bag of the little bits, for cookies.
That bitter baking chocolate, and you go and you take a bite of it, and you're like,
that is not what I thought it was going to be.
That's not it. So yeah, I can see that bitterness.
Every sip though,
a hint of licorice, again.
I think licorice is on the palate, and it still shows up down here on the finish. But I mean, sourdough, toffee, licorice. I'm not sure oak shows up on the palate, but it definitely shows up on the finish. So besides sourdough and some toffee and some licorice, what are you picking up on the palate itself? I might say the cinnamon and nutmeg.
Definitely cinnamon, maybe a little bit of clove.
Yeah, I'm scribbling out nutmeg and putting down clove. And vanilla.
Yeah, vanilla is definitely there. Maybe kind of a custardy.
You think custardy on the palate?
Mm-hmm. Maybe a hint of citrus. Not quite orange, not quite lemon. If that makes any sense.
Maybe grapefruit, or blood orange.
Maybe a blood orange. Yeah.
But the zest.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Yeah. What about some coffee cake?
Coffee cake. See, every time I see a coffee cake, I think, oh my god, that looks so good. And when I eat it, I'm like disappointed. But this doesn't disappoint me in any kind of way.
And I say coffee cake because coffee cake typically has brown sugar and cinnamon in there, and then you end up with a little bit of that dense.
It is dense. Dense was the word I was going to throw at it.
Yeah.
But you went ahead and said it, so I'm a damn copycat if I want to say it. All right. So that's palate or finish?
That's palate. Finish is.
Whoops.
I don't think the finish is as long as the soft red. I think it's still medium length.
Medium length.
There's a nice warm Missouri hug. But it's also 122 point what?
6.
122.6 proof. So that goes without saying. And I feel like most of those flavors get to the finish and then kind of taper off in varying degrees.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And there's something about, for all of our fellow whiskey enthusiasts out there, there's something about a bourbon, like when it gets past like 7 years, 6 months ish, right? When it hits like an 8 year or a fucking 10 year, like it has a certain something to it that I don't know how to describe, but they nearly all have it. And it's almost like a semi-sweet, kind of bittersweet, kind of something to there. It's something in the wood itself.
To kind of piggyback.
I can't describe it, but if you know what I'm talking about, it's there in this one.
So to piggyback off of the aging and kind of those milestones kind of a thing, based off of what we talked about on the previous episode, 2016 is when the Holladay Distillery resumed tours, which means that they were officially now the Holladay Distillery. 2019 is when real Missouri bourbon came into play. 2023 is when the soft red wheat came to market. But anyway, 2016 is the date that they kind of reinvented themselves as Ben Holladay. McCormick's has been around for a while. According to this, since their original 1850, do you remember?
Six. Says it right down here at the bottom of the bottle. Yeah, 1856.
Since 1856, it has only changed ownership 3 times.
3 times. I thought it was 5.
So it hasn't changed a whole lot. And I think it's super cool that they have gone back to the original name of the founder. But anyway, 2016 seems to be the date that they are using to reference their rebirth, their reopening of that. So with that said, we have some 7 years, we have some 6 years, and variations in there. Should we expect a 10-year sometime in the next year?
Has Rieger done a 10-year? They've done a 10-year. Yeah,
we did that with our 2-year anniversary.
We did, and it was incredible. I don't know what I was thinking by even asking that, but yeah, I almost bought a bottle of it the other day at the distillery.
Oh, so they still had a couple down there?
Not many, but yeah, they did have some. And yeah, so I would 100% expect Ben Holladay to have a 10-year offering at some point. Nose is like I said, nose is indicative of anything.
I like the nose, but I like the nose of the soft red better.
It's unfair to compare. What are you doing?
I'm not comparing. I'm not comparing. I'm not comparing.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Okay, I'm comparing.
It's definitely good. I dig it, man. I dig it.
It's a good nose, so I cannot dock it, dear listener.
Looking at you, Carlo.
Carlo, are you still following? Leave us a comment.
Yeah.
Subscribe. Hit the bell notification.
And it mouthfeels just like you would expect. 122.6. But I mean, doing these barrel picks.
All right.
It might be okay for the Kansas City area, but for our friends in New Zealand, unfortunately, they're not going to get to try this.
Not anymore.
No, definitely not anymore.
Mr. Joe Nathan, what did you give this on the nose?
4.25. How about you?
Not bad. I came down to 4.
4.0.
And I say came down to 4. It's the same 4 that I gave the soft red.
I mean, it's the lowest point of wow. I mean, at least it wowed you.
Yeah.
And honestly, it's got.
It's a great nose. It was a great nose.
Citrus, vanilla bomb, baking spices.
So we
creamed corn, which I don't think we've touched on creamed corn with anything. Maybe we have, and like burnt toffee.
We talked.
That's just on nose.
We talked a little bit. May or may not have edited it out, but we'll see. We'll see. But we talked a little bit that I started to feel like I enjoyed this nose better, but then you reminded me.
Not fair to compare.
Not fair to compare.
Not fair to compare.
So I'm trying not to compare. I really like this nose. It is a different nose than this.
Definitely.
So
and it should be.
So I kept it still
that's what we did.
The same 4. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
not bad at all. How about the palate?
My palate did come down a little bit from the soft red. It came down to 4 1/4.
4 1/4. That's not bad because that's right where I'm at with it.
Excellent.
The palate. I mean, there was
it's a great palate.
Sourdough, toffee, licorice, cinnamon, and clove. Not just baking spices, air quote, but they were defined more in the palate than the nose, and it wasn't cinnamon and nutmeg like usual. It's cinnamon and clove. whatever.
I like
Spent
it.
too much time on that. Vanilla custard.
Yep.
The citrus we defined as possible blood orange zest, and I think it could be grapefruit. It's kind of like a really bitter, semi-sweet kind of thing going on there. And coffee cake. You picked up coffee cake.
Yeah.
I think.
Yep.
Because it's so dense.
Yep.
And that carried on over here to the finish, which we'll get to here in a second after we give our scores. My score on the finish was 4.5. So for me, it actually came up a little bit on the finish.
All right.
How about you?
I just left mine at 4.25.
Left it there.
Just kind of rode. So the finish was great.
Finish was great. Yeah, caramel and toffee carried through.
Yep.
Vanilla bean, sourdough.
It all carried through.
Yeah, semi-sweet.
I think it was a little bit shorter.
Baking chocolate. We talked about that.
Yep. Yeah. I don't think it was drastically shorter, but I do think it was a shorter finish than the soft red.
Yeah, it's a medium length Missouri hug.
Yep.
Just all the way, and there was a little bit of licorice in there too. Actually, the licorice. Yeah. I said something about that on the palate. It was really just a very fun, exciting kind of drink, and it's got that little bit of something that you would expect from a 7.5, 8 year to 10 year whiskey. It's just damn tasty,
Yeah.
So we didn't talk about it much on this one. We talked about it quite a bit. You already pointed out over there the soft red bottle presentation. This one doesn't have the big slap happy.
It doesn't, but it's also not the Rickhouse proof.
It's not the Rickhouse proof. This is
it's a store pick.
It's a store pick.
So it does have some handwritten stuff on the side label, but it's all an integrated label.
Yeah. Which is A-okay with me. I'm happy with that.
Yep.
It's got a cool little stagecoach and a Rickhouse in the background.
And honestly, because of the Survivor aspect of this, I should have given it bonus points for surviving the catastrophe.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, the stained and weathered label,
the survival label,
it's battle scars.
Battle scars. I mean, it's got to be a tough bottle to be able to handle a shelf collapse.
Right.
I mean, you saw the old videos. If you're on YouTube, if you are, thank you. If you're new to us here on YouTube, definitely hit subscribe and click that bell notification.
But I did drop it to 3.5.
You did drop it to 3.5. All right. Mine's at 4.25.
All right.
Because I still love the embossment on the different things here. I love how it tells you that
it's the exact same bottle.
Yeah,
it is. It's a different style label.
Yeah,
and I do love that on the label on the One Barrel, they pay homage to the fact that Ben Holladay started his career as being the owner of the stagecoach. That ended up becoming the Wells Fargo.
Yeah, Wells Fargo bottom.
Logo. Yep.
And I mean, he had his hands in some railroads, and
everything,
all kinds of industrialist things back there in the mid 1800s. And how cool is that that his name is still on something.
Yep.
One of the many things that he did was the distillery.
Yeah.
And it changed hands a couple of times, but somebody decided to, like you said a second ago, pay homage to him and throw his name on the damn distillery. I mean, that's really cool.
It only makes sense.
So what was your final score?
Final score was an even 8.
8 even. That is not bad for a bottle of whiskey.
It's a good score.
We've had some lower scored ones, and we've had some that definitely had some that scored higher. However, an 8 even score is not bad at all. Mine came out to 8 5/8, 8.625.
Okay.
So I was very happy with this one. I think it's a great contender for a cocktail if need be.
100%.
I mean, it might be cool in a sour, like a whiskey sour.
Oh yeah.
I think it would.
A little bit of egg white.
Yeah, I think it would really shine in like a Boulevardier or of course, an old fashioned, but there's something else, like Kansas City, not a horse feather, something else, just like
a revolver would be. I think it would be great for it.
is Revolver I'm thinking of? It might be the Revolver that I'm thinking of. But yeah,
Or a handful of different smashes.
Oh, yeah. Like, yeah, you bring like a blackberry bourbon smash with this son of a bitch. Oh, my God. Mm-hmm. Woo! I killed a bottle of Ghostwood on blackberry or mulberry. Because I got the mulberry trees in the spring. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, not to shout out to Ghostwood, but still, shout out to their higher proof whiskey that was actually really tasty. But, yeah, do you have anything to add to this one here?
This was a mighty fine pour.
I would agree with that. And still holding true to their even though it's a store pick, it is still their product.
Yeah.
And they still hold true to their branding, and you still get the slightly tapered, wine bottle, style whiskey bottle. There's key points here on the embossment. The punt is really nothing spectacular, but whatever. It not always is. Nobody can be not everybody can be like Rieger's and have their shield on the bottom of it.
I mean,
but on the neck label, even the neck label is really cool. We didn't even talk about this really.
It is very cool.
It's got DSP number 5 all the way over. It tells you what it is, and right there in the very middle, you got the Ben Holladay logo.
And because of circumstances, this one got an upgrade. It has actually a cork stopper.
Yes, the Survivor got
a composite cork stopper.
Got a reward. What doesn't kill us makes us kill, or makes us stronger. I'm not sure. Maybe I was quoting into existence lyrics. What doesn't kill us makes us kill. We trade blood for blood. Anyway, so if you are in the market for a
Dude, Ben Holladay all day long.
A store pick of a Ben Holladay.
I cannot wait to get into this ancient cave.
We're going to.
Faith and Tim have already gotten into it.
Oh, really? They have? Those dicks. Love you, dicks. But Faith and Tim, when we get to that episode, please drop us a comment in the comment section and let us know what you think. See if we're on the ball or behind the 8 ball or whatever on our descriptions. Let us know what you think, especially Tim, because Tim goes hard.
Yeah,
he goes.
He loved it.
Hard in the paint on those things, but he did love it.
He dug it.
You already talked to him about it.
Yep.
All right. Well, say no more, money more. So if you're in the mood for a store pick of Ben Holladay, I would say just go for it. Go find yourself somebody that has it. Whether it's the Hy-Vee liquor department or your favorite local liquor store or Bruzel, find it, try it. Let us know what you think. Send us a comment. Send us an email, info@savorthebourbon.com. And while you're there, check out the shop, the Patreon, all the things. And really, guys, no matter what you're drinking and who you're drinking it with, and where you're drinking it, never forget, keep on burning.